Good afternoon, and welcome to our first college recognition ceremony for the class of 2021. Together, we have faced many challenges and adjustments during the coronavirus pandemic, but these 11 outstanding student athletes have found a way to overcome, adapt, and succeed. They have committed to pursuing their academic and athletic careers at the next level. On behalf of Quakertown Community High School, congratulations to these dedicated student athletes being honored today. Let me introduce them to you before we hear from their coaches and the athletes themselves. Gianna Monastra is going to play soccer at Ave Maria University in Florida. Corey Purcell is going to play soccer at Moravian College. Natalie Riley will also be playing soccer at Moravian College. Justin Butler will be playing baseball at Lehigh University. Trevor Hurst will be playing baseball at Chestnut Hill College. Jack Palteria will be playing baseball at the University of Valley Forge. Anthony Rostick will be playing baseball at Cabrini College. Tyler Merworth will be playing football at the University at Alabama. Kayla Hilliard will be playing lacrosse at Shippensburg University. Tessa O'Donnell will be playing lacrosse at Arcadia University. And Domenic DeFalco will be wrestling at Campbell University at North Carolina. We will start with Coach Handel and wrestling. Have him talk a little bit about Dom.
Thank you, Sylvia. First of all, congratulations to this group. You guys have had a crazy road to get where you're at today. And I look forward to looking you up and seeing the great success you have at the next level. Be looking forward to seeing you back on your playing fields and competing and representing Q-Town proud in the future. Look for my tweets. I'll be tweeting about you. I'm here, Domenic DeFalco. He's been a part of the Quakertown High School wrestling team the past 4 years. Dom is a generational wrestler, to say kindly. We had our first state qualifier in Quakertown wrestling in 1981, 50 years ago. To do the math for you there. Only 3 wrestlers in that time frame have been a state qualifier 4 years in a row, freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year. Domenic is the 3rd. There's only 2 other wrestlers that came before him that were able to have that accomplishment. And hats off to you, Dom. I look forward to this week and getting some medals and being a state place winner. Dom has been consistent all 4 years with us. He has a career record of 130 wins and only 40 losses. Once again, that's 4th in our all-time career wins category in wrestling. On top of being 4th in the career wins, he's finishing 4th also in career pins with 71, which is it's a very hard task to accomplish in 4 years. Sorry, everyone. Turn your phones off. Dom, he's on our boards. He has some incredible records. He was a 4-year first-team all-league wrestler. Incredible athlete on the mat. But what's impressive about Dom is off the mat as well. You know, we're student athletes here. Dom was a student all 4 years. He was a distinguished honor roll student. He was a 3-time PA All-Academic Team member. They don't put freshmen on the PA All-Academic Team, so that's why it was only a 3-time. If they did put freshmen on the All-Academic Team, he would have been a 4-timer. Speaking about Dom's character, he was a team captain for 3 years. Sophomores being team captains are doesn't happen. It's very rare, and that's why I'm saying Dom is a rare athlete in our sport. He doesn't come around too often, and I was so fortunate to be able to say I was his coach, and I'm honored. And last, I want to leave you with, he has incredible accolades, academically, athletically, but Dom's character is tops. Dom came to me last year and said, "Hey, my little neighbor, he's battling cancer. He's in remission though. And I want him to come and join the team." And I was all for it. Dom made all the arrangements. We made it a special night for Cam. We recognized him. But all that happened because Dom, who is one of the most caring young men you're going to meet, wanted to do something special for his neighbor who was going through some very difficult times. And that just speaks to Dom's character. And Dom, I've been honored to be your coach, and I'm going to be honored in the future to say that I was your coach, and I wish you the best luck at Campbell University. I know you're going to do well there, and you're going to turn heads. So thank you for giving us 4 awesome years.
All right, Dom, come on up here. Let's hear from you.
So first, I just want to thank Coach Handel for everything, all the nice things he said about me today. Really wouldn't be the leader I am without him teaching me how to be a leader. So some of my most memorable moments, I have a few, but one that really stands out is with my teammates. And that was when we qualified for states as a team. We hadn't done that in probably 15 years, and we hadn't made the district finals in probably 15 years. And that was really important to me because I know not everyone gets a chance to wrestle in the Giant Center at Hershey. And I had already been there a couple times, but it just really meant something to me for my teammates to have the opportunity to wrestle there too. On the big stage, under the bright lights, it's a life-changing experience, and I was really happy that everyone could be there with me. So the most valuable thing that I learned throughout my high school career was definitely how to be a leader. When I came into the high school, I was quiet and shy, and I didn't really put myself out there. I wasn't much of a leader. But once I got to the high school under Coach Handel, under Coach Foster, Coach Ziegler, they all taught me that just being successful on the mat doesn't make me a leader. My success is really defined by helping other people and teaching them and being there for them, being a mentor. That's really probably the most valuable thing I learned while I was last year. I feel my best accomplishment here was, like Coach Handel said, being third, or the school's third 4-time state qualifier. It's very difficult, and I'm really proud of myself for that. So I really would like to thank my family, my coaches, my friends, and just the community in general. Wrestling doesn't get a lot of spotlight, and for people who I've never really talked to before or had the chance of meeting, for them to show their support for me, that means a lot. I know a lot of wrestlers don't get that recognition for whatever reason. It's not my place to speak on, but just the community in general has been a huge help for me, showing their support. So after college, obviously in college, I want hopes and dreams are to become a national champion. It's a big goal, but I know I can get after it and definitely achieve it. And then beyond college, I'm going to study criminal justice administration, and I hope to enroll in law school after I finish my career.
Thank you, Dom. Next up, we're going to ask girls soccer coach Mike Cook to come up and talk about his 3 athletes going on to play in college.
First off, I would like to congratulate all of the athletes here, your coaches, and your families. It's difficult to become a college athlete any year. It's particularly difficult in a year like this. And you guys have persevered and earned your reward. So congratulations to all of you. I'm going to talk about my three girls here collectively first, and then individually. They are part of a senior class that as freshmen were part of the biggest victory the program ever had. As sophomores, they tied the defending state champions twice. As juniors, they were a playoff team again. And as seniors, battled COVID and led our team in battling COVID and all the difficulties around that and beat the defending state champions. It was a season that required leadership in crisis, which is a lot to ask for 17-year-olds. We started in August, early, 6 a.m. practices with massive restrictions. Not a lot of fun, can't pass the ball, can't defend, have a ton of restrictions, a lot of reasons for these girls to hang their heads, not show up, whine. They chose to do none of those things. Instead, their leadership, and the leadership of seniors is what drives the program, not the coach. Their leadership led us to productive practices. We made the best of the situation in August, in September, in October, and even into November, which is a lot longer than it could have been. Every day they showed up knowing it might be the last day. Particularly early on, we really weren't sure where it was going to go. And this season is one, as a coach, that I am most proud of, and I'm most proud of it because of the leadership of our entire senior class and these three players in particular. They gave up part of their social life to keep our team safe. They dealt with restrictions. All three of them are competitors, leaders, and positive role models for our younger teammates. To compete as an athlete, you need to be competitive, and that's a driving force for all of them. They want and strive to be the best player they can be every game. And again, that follows through to the rest of the team. Our character is only as good as our seniors. And our senior character and these three players' character, very, very high. They're also human beings that their parents should be proud of. I'm sad when the season ends, and mostly it's because it's such a great opportunity for me to be around people like this, remind me of how great our young people are. And these are three of the finest. Their work rate, their willingness to fight through adversity, and the talents they possess will make them outstanding college players. And as I alluded to earlier, they had to navigate a very difficult recruiting course because of the lack of showcase opportunities and all of the seniors that colleges are keeping coming back. Being a 2021 graduate and wanting to play sports is not an easy task. And they all persevered, and like I said, they now have their opportunity for their just rewards. Gianna, the 3-year starter for us at left back. She's one of the hardest working players, most fit players on our team. When we're out there doing our crazy running and everybody else is averting their head or trying to figure a way out, she's right out in front leading the way. Testament to her character. As a player, she is dangerous. Getting forward out of that left back with her left foot, that was a big part of our attack. And as a defender, she would often have to mark the best player on the other team, and she did a great job doing that as well. Team first. Team first is something that I often think when I think of Gianna. and even her whole family. Her brother and sister ran the lines for us for most of the games this year. And that might sound like whatever, but that's a huge, as a coach, to know that's taken care of by two people that are very responsible was huge. So shout out to them. I would describe her as an energizer too. She brings energy to the game. When Gianna gets the ball and gets going forward, she starts to create mismatches, and she impacts the game that way. I'm excited for her to play an NAIA Division II program at Ave Maria in Florida, which will be against some good quality competition, and I know she'll succeed and do well. Corey, 4-year starter, center back the last 3, outside back her first year. Corey, I don't think she spoke when she was a freshman. Very, very quiet girl. I would not say that when she was a senior. She is somebody that led by example. I think that she's the person that kind of the team revolved around from a social hub. She made it fun while still working hard, and there's that fine line that you have to find there. I know her teammates really looked up to her. She was an all-league player. Her communication, as I said, very quiet as a freshman. She was the director on the field as a senior, and that growth in her is something that I was excited to see. She's also, although she's a center back, very dangerous on restarts, both taking them and finishing them. And again, her ascension to the director of the team this year without Melina is one of the highlights of the season. I speak to Coach Koch at Moravian quite often, and I know he is very excited to have Corey come. Natalie Riley, 3-year starter at right back, center mid, outside mid, forward, or wherever the team needed someone. Versatile and team-oriented. Some words that I would use to describe her would be inquisitive. She always wanted to know why we were doing what we're doing, and that her understanding of the game as a whole and the big picture grew and grew. Always positive and always wanting feedback. What can I do to be better? And what that led to, particularly by this year, was a player that could adjust and read the game constantly for us and make those subtle little adjustments in the game both for herself and directing teammates that kept us like where we wanted to be. Natalie never missed practice, ever, except twice, when she was afraid that she might have been exposed in this difficult year and said, I don't want to miss practice, but I'm going to go get a test for the safety of my teammates. Another player like both of these girls that always puts her teammate first. So if Gianna was the energizer and Corey's the director, I would say Natalie was our glue in the middle that kept all of us linked together, and did a great job. And as I said, I speak to Coach Koch often. I know he's very excited about Natalie coming up and glad that he's got the opportunity to meet her. I think that these two girls will do a great job at Moravian, and this young lady will do a great job at Ave Maria. I will miss them, but I'm excited to see what the next steps bring for them.
Thank you, Coach. And Gianna, how about we'll hear a little bit from you.
Hi, my name is Gianna, and like I said, I'm going to be playing soccer for Ave Maria University. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my parents for driving me to all my practices and games before I got my license, especially those early preseason practices. I'd like to thank all my coaches for teaching me all there is to know about playing the game of soccer and for always encouraging me. And finally, I'd like to thank all my other family members, my grandparents, my aunt, uncle, and cousins, and all my siblings for always showing up to cheer me on at my games. My most memorable moment with my teammates and coaches was probably winning our senior night this year. We haven't won one in quite a while, so it was a pretty great moment when we finally won one this year. I feel like my best accomplishment was probably trying out for the team. I'm homeschooled, so I didn't know anyone. I was very scared going into it, but I'm so happy that I decided to do it. In college, I hope to expand my knowledge, experience new things, further develop my character, grow in my faith, and build meaningful relationships throughout my time there. I'm going to study elementary education and hope to be a teacher someday. Thank you.
Thank you, Gianna. Corey?
Alright, so my favorite moment with the team and my coaches was my freshman year being Penridge in double overtime and penalty kicks. The lesson I learned from participating in sports at Quakertown is learning to trust your teammates, which helps create a bond and a team nature you need to succeed together. I feel my best accomplishments was making multiple playoff games and being named to Super Bowl multiple times. I'd like to thank my family, friends, coaches, and teammates for all the continued support. And during college and beyond, I hope to play a significant role on the field and excel in academics as well.
Thank you, Corey. Natalie?
I'm Natalie, and I am continuing to play women's soccer at Meridian College. My most memorable moment with my teammates and coaches was winning senior night in overtime this year. The lesson I learned from participating in sports at the high school is to enjoy the company of your teammates and love what you're doing because time does fly fast. I feel my best accomplishment in high school was making varsity my sophomore year. And I'd like to thank my family, friends, coaches, and teammates. And what I hope to achieve in college and beyond is I want to study sociology with the criminal justice and law track and continue to grow both academically and athletically.
Thank you, Natalie. Next up, I'd like to ask head football coach George Vanis to come up and talk about Tyler.
Thank you, Sylvia. Again, I'd like to congratulate everybody up here. Monumentous feat that you've all been able to do this year, and a lot of years leading up to this. Tyler, a lot of things we could say about you. All right. 3-year letter winner, 6-time all-league selection, 4 of which were first team awarded. That does not happen very often. And some of the things that you did on the field, you sit there and watch it on film in amazement. But besides all of that, I can tell you this. Going back to your incoming freshman year, you showed me what type of person you were in a conversation we had outside of Alumni Stadium. You came to me and we had a long talk about where I saw you in the program and where I saw you in this community and this family. And a lot of you don't understand where Tyler's been or what he's been through. And I hope that none of us have to go through what Tyler's been through. But in that conversation, we sealed the deal that you were going to stay at Quakertown and you were going to play football. And for the next 4 years, we were blessed to have you in the program. From leadership to becoming a young man and really an adult right out of the gate, freshman year on up. I'm proud of the man that you have become. And when making this decision about going to college, we've had many text messages, phone calls, emails. And when it came down to it, you bet on yourself. You took the preferred walk-on to the and you bet on yourself to say that you're going to go up there and you're going to get a full ride by next year. And I have absolutely no doubt that that will occur. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you, Coach. Tyler, come on up and let's hear from you.
So I'm Tyler Merlord, playing football at the University of Albany. And I'd say my most memorable moment with my teammates was probably my sophomore year, going into Perk Valley, the rain game that we had. It was super muddy, conditions were kind of bad. And we were pretty big underdog, but we went in, just played our game, and eventually won. And that was probably one of the best moments I had. One of the lessons I learned from football is to fall in love with the process and not the goals or accomplishments at the end, but just fall in love with what you have to do every day to be great. I'd say my best accomplishments, a ton of individual accomplishments that I'm definitely proud of, but again, just the games that we win, playoff games that we win, those are the games that I remember the most and the things I'm going to remember the most. I'd like to thank everybody that helped me, family, coaches, teammates, everyone along the way who supported me and helped me. Just let me be me, do what I had to do. What I hope to achieve in college, I want to be the best football player that Albany, that's been through Albany. And my career goals are to become a sports broadcaster.
Thank you, Tyler. Next up, I'd like to invite head girls lacrosse coach Tracy Hibsman to talk about the two lacrosse players.
Great, well, thanks for having me, and congratulations again to all the athletes up here today. And specifically, I'm going to speak to, I'll take turns here, I'll speak to Kayla first, Kayla Hilliard. I'm honored to be here today to congratulate you and celebrate your commitment to Shippensburg University to play women's lacrosse. That's a D2 program, so congratulations on a wonderful accomplishment. As her brand new coach last year for the 2020 season, I was really looking forward to having our first season together, but as we all know, the 2020 season didn't quite pan out like we hoped. So unfortunately, I didn't get to coach her last year, but I am really looking forward to having the privilege of coaching her this year. Which will be her last high school season. So in the short time that I did get to know Kayla last year and this year, I found a strong, smart, and humble leader who is always willing to step up and get the job done. And that's any job. Anything you ask of her, she's willing to do it. And unfortunately, I don't have a lot of stats to kind of spew out as being a brand new coach, so what I did is I reached out to some former coaches and some of her teammates to get some good feedback for Kayla. So what I can tell you is that Kayla started playing lacrosse in the 5th grade. She's been playing ever since. The last 5 years, she's spent playing for the Headstrong Philly travel team, where she plays both defense and midfield. That's actually where she got discovered. She was doing a tournament for her Headstrong team, and there was a Shippensburg recruiter there who kind of noticed her and kind of started the process there. She loves the game, and she's always been focused on lacrosse and her future in the sport. She knows how to use her height and her long reach to her advantage, especially on that draw. She has excellent field awareness and communication on the field. She has excellent advanced stick skills that she uses to switch her hands and gain the advantage without ever losing step. What I heard, so I reached out to her teammates to get some feedback too. What I heard repeatedly from her friends and teammates is that Kayla has an amazing work ethic, which is evident to me as well. She's highly motivated, and she also motivates other people on the team, other players, and also off the field. And she's always there to help her teammates improve. Overall, Kayla is a strong competitor, and she always pushes herself to be better. She's a great role model for the upcoming classes. She's worked hard and deserves all the greatness that's coming her way. I personally wish her all the best this season, and I wish her all the success with her future endeavors, both on and off the field at Shippensburg. So congratulations to you at this time. Go Rivers. Now turn to Tess, and again, it's a privilege to be here to speak about Tessa O'Donnell and her commitment to Arcadia University D3 program. She'll be playing women's lacrosse there. And after getting to know Tessa last year for a few open gyms that we had and a couple of weeks of practice, I was really thrilled that she was going to be part of my team. Unfortunately, we didn't get our season, so I'm really excited this year to see what she's going to bring to the team. And I'm excited to coach her this last season that she'll have in high school. What I have found personally in Tess over the last year or so getting to know her, she's an intelligent, well-spoken young lady. She has excellent lacrosse skills. She leads the team by example, and she's definitely a player and a person who's worth emulating. And again, likewise, I don't have a lot of stats to throw out as being a new coach, but I reached out to former coaches and her teammates to get some feedback on Tessa, and here's what they have to say. So Tessa has also been playing lacrosse since the 5th grade, and she's described as by her former coach as being tenacious and having a never give up attitude. She uses her smaller stature to her advantage when she's making cuts and getting open in the critical scoring area. She's an excellent attacker. She's also excellent at retrieving those ground balls. And from her teammates, what I heard over and over again was that she is very friendly and welcoming and always willing to help someone when they need it. She's extremely hardworking. She always gives 110% in everything that she does, not just lacrosse, but off the field as well. She's motivated on and off the field, and she helps motivate her teammates as well. She's also a strong competitor, and she's always pushing herself to be better. She's a great role model for the underclassmen. Her love of the game is evident when she's on the field, and she plays great and contributes a lot to any team on or off the field. She has a positive attitude, she's a good team player, and a good friend to many of her teammates. She never cuts corners in workouts, and she challenges herself and does everything to the best of her ability. I personally cannot wait to coach Tessa this season, and I know she'll do great things, whether it be academically, athletically, or personally, at Arcadia University. So congratulations to you and your family. Go next.
Thank you, Coach. Kayla, come on up. Let's hear about your high school experience.
So I am continuing my athletic career at Shippensburg University to play women's lacrosse. And for a memorable moment, it was hard for me to pick one, but it was more the feeling of me stepping onto alumni with all like my best friends by my side. Just knowing like whatever happens, like they're with me through the whole ride is something I know I'll definitely never forget. And over the years, I've learned as an athlete, just keep fighting till the final seconds run off that clock. Like doesn't matter the score, you keep fighting until that clock ends. And I'd say my best accomplishment would be learning to be a leader on and off the field, because it's definitely a lot more than just like on the field. Like yeah, you can take people under your wing, but if you can't take that off the field with you too, then it doesn't really mean much. And for thanking everyone, I first want to thank my mom for being my loudest cheer, even though most of the time she had no idea what was going on. She was just kind of yelling my name even if I wasn't on the field. And my dad, who was the one who actually convinced me to play lacrosse, to follow my brother. And my coaches, all along the way. I played for multiple teams, but the one I stayed at the longest was the Headstrong Philly girls with Debbie White and Joanne Hippensteel, who pretty much put their lives on hold for my team and everyone else, just to make sure that we were ready for the higher level and that we played to our fullest potential, and they made sure that we never held back. And to Coach Tracy, even though I haven't gotten a season with her, I can see like her passion for us and that she wants us to achieve, so I know like we're all in good hands even when I leave. And my best friend Lesha, who always made sure I was at practice even when sometimes I didn't want to go, she was calling me like 10 times and convincing me to go. And while at Shippensburg, I hope to be an asset to the team and help them achieve their goal of first beating Westchester and East Stroudsburg and making it to the NCAA tournament. And off the field, I'm studying political science and criminal justice on the pre-law track to be a criminal defense attorney, and I hope to attend Penn Law.
Thank you, Kayla. Tess, come on up.
Okay, my name is Tessa O'Donnell, and I'm playing lacrosse for Arcadia University next year. I would say my most memorable moment with my teammates and coaches was when my teammate Marge passed me the ball during a game for an open shot on the goal, but it was way too high and went over my head, and somehow still made it into the goal. That was really fun. A lesson that I learned from participating in sports at Koch was the importance of always working my hardest for not only myself, but also the team. I learned how important it is for everyone to always work together as a team, not just during the games, but even during practices and such. I feel my best accomplishments in high school sports were setting goals each year to be better than the year before, and I feel like as a team, we met those goals, even if it was as simple as winning one more game than the year before. I'd like to thank all my coaches throughout the years, as well as my new coaches that strove to keep us positive even throughout the pandemic that ruined our season last year. I also want to thank my parents for being there to support me and allowing me to get to this point. And lastly, I want to thank all my teammates for putting up with me throughout the years. What I hope to achieve in college and beyond is not only to work hard playing lacrosse, but also make it out with a master's degree in forensics.
Thank you, Tessa. Next up, Coach John Pallone and the baseball team.
Thank you for having me today. Just want to start off kind of discussing what everybody else kind of mentioned with how difficult the last 12 months have been for everybody, especially for these guys going off to play in college, not just the baseball players, but all the other athletes up here as well. I can tell you from looking at this from the baseball side of things, it's extremely difficult going into a dead period in your junior year, not being able to get those junior year statistics up, get that experience out there, going into the summer, having a difficult time, not necessarily being able to get onto the college campuses and look at these places and being extremely behind schedule on what a typical recruiting schedule would look like. And I can tell you a lot of the guys have been frustrated, and that's totally understandable. And I think it just kind of speaks to their resilience that they have to continue to push forward and continue to pursue their dream of playing college baseball and for other athletes up here as well in their respective sports. Again, just putting things in perspective, the NCAA says that it's about a 9% chance for a high school baseball player to go on and play at college. So I think that's important to kind of think about. Usually we have about 15 freshmen on our freshman team. So that means about 1.3 players from our freshman team statistically should be going on to play college baseball. And we have 4 of them and a great group of 4 guys here that chose to pursue that path going forward throughout all the difficulty that they've gone through this past 12 months. In order to get there, these guys, many people might say they're obsessed, but I think we all know that it's their passion is to continue to play baseball at the next level. One thing that I'm going to steal this from former Louisiana Lafayette coach Tony Robichaud, and what he said is, and I recommend this to our guys, but the other athletes as well, use the game, don't let it use you. I can say in my own experience, I've seen that before, where guys go to college to play and the game uses them up and it spits them out. And I can say with our 4 baseball players that we have up here, they're going to use the game to take them to another level academically. They're going to use the game to make good connections, make good choices in life, have awesome experiences, because playing college baseball is an awesome experience. And they're going to use it to their advantage. But always keep that in perspective as you go on to the next level. Use the athletics to take you as a vehicle to someplace even better. I know these guys are just chomping at the bit right now. Our tryouts start next week, and being together with them in the open gyms, and being there, there's just the smiles on their faces to be out there, and we're just practicing in the gym, which we all know stinks. We all want to be outside, we all want to be playing, but unfortunately we live in the Northeast. So we start off in the gyms, we start off with snow outside, and these guys are just, salivating at the opportunity to be able to throw a baseball around with their friends because they missed that opportunity last year. So again, congratulations to you guys on pursuing your dreams and continue to go forward with this. We'll start off with Justin on his commitment to Lehigh University. Justin busted onto the scene his freshman year, getting a varsity start in a league game, which I've only had, I think, one other freshman start a league game in the last 7 years. And he hits a home run in his first game at Cheltenham. They don't have a fence, so he did it the old way, and hit it over the hill, and they almost threw him out at home. That was a really far hit that he had, but he's worked really hard at his speed the last several years, and I look forward to seeing him steal some bases this year as well, as he's made that improvement. But to see a ninth grader hit a ball that far is a pretty impressive thing, and made quite a mark. His sophomore year, he started off 0 for 13 in league play, and we gave him a day off, and he came back, and he was chomping at the bit to face off against the pitcher from Central Bucks East that went in the first round of Major League Baseball draft. And he was ready to go. He wasn't deterred, and he wants to face the best to be the best. And that's just kind of the character that he has. And he finished the rest of the season. From that game forward, he led the team in batting average and on base plus slugging. So he was one of our best hitters, if not best hitter, pretty much the second half of the year as a sophomore on the team that had multiple college players in the one that year. This is, again, a lot about his offensive problems. He also had 3 home runs that year as well. So missing that junior year is going to make it a little difficult for him to set the home run record, but maybe we do it first season. All through everything, Justin's always been a leader. I heard Coach Handel mention with Dom as a sophomore, Justin applied to be a captain as a sophomore, and unfortunately he wasn't selected, but he made it extremely difficult. It was 13 or 14 seniors on the team that year. And he came with a professional attitude. He came with great leadership background, and unfortunately, he just missed out by a little bit, and made it extremely difficult. But that says a lot about his leadership. He is constantly a great communicator, demonstrates his commitment, leads by example, and leads with his presence. One of my favorite Justin memories is 2 years ago down at Plymouth Whitemarsh in a non-league game, which our non-league games don't count for playoffs. So we played a doubleheader that day, and the second game didn't count. So we gave him, he caught the first game, so we gave him a rest in the second game. And one of the other players who was in the lineup had to go to the bathroom during the game, and we're down by 3 runs. And Justin, he was supposed to come up with 2 men on base. Justin comes out of the dugout with a helmet on and a bat in his hand, and he goes, "So-and-so's got to go to the bathroom. I'm just going to hit, and he can re-enter." It's like, as a coach, you're down at third base, you're not in the dugout. Okay. He comes up, he hits a home run, ties the game up. We go on to beat him by a home run. That's just coaching, staying out of these guys' ways. So, coaches lose games, players win games. I stand with it. Also, as a sophomore in an extremely difficult conference, Justin was second team all league as a catcher, which again speaks to his credit. For Trevor's going on to Chestnut Hill. As a freshman, we did bring him up at the end of the season as we went into the playoffs to be a courtesy runner, because it was obvious with the speed and his baseball knowledge as a freshman, he would be able to do that. And again, it's a difficult task, asking a guy to come up and say, "Hey, we're going to put you on base in the playoff game. Be ready to go." And he was ready to go. Didn't face him in the least. His sophomore year, he split some time as shortstop, and he got a couple innings on the mound. I wish we got him some more innings on the mound. Having missed a junior year, but I know he would have an extremely big junior year for us. He's coming back from early, set up to see a lot of innings. One of the things I'm really impressed with Trevor is in conversations with him over the summer and as we go into the fall, he's really made a lot of development, a lot of maturity, a lot of growth. Taking a much more professional approach to his training and athleticism and his pitching as a player that you don't often see as much at this age level. He made that step. And I think a lot of people are going to be surprised. I mean, I'm not going to be surprised. The team is not going to be surprised. But people are going to say, "Who is this guy?" Because missing that junior year, nobody played. So who's this guy coming out of nowhere? And I know he's going to be one of the leaders in our conference this year for us as well. Moving on to Jack. Since his freshman year, he's been a personality. His teammates love him. I think all the guys, they all love each other, but they really love Q. He is a true team player, and He has been at everything, and he works hard. Since his freshman year, I've noticed him grinding out at speed training. I've noticed him working hard when we're taking ABs in the gym, which again, maybe in the gym is not much fun, but Jack also seems to always have a lot of fun doing everything, and in the right way, which I think is difficult too. A lot of kids, a lot of high school students have a difficult time understanding the difference between screwing around to have fun and working hard and having fun, and he clearly gets that, and I appreciate that. He has a great command of his pitching, of his pitches, changing speeds, locating, and one of my favorite cue memories, and it's not an individual one in particular, but he pretty much always dominates that red light, green light, that speed train. He's always there. He's having a blast, and the smile on his face is always priceless to see that. He brings us to our last guy of the day, Anthony Roscoe. And Anthony's going off to play at Green University. And as a freshman, we brought him with us up to Myrtle Beach. He has always been a gamer. I know his middle school coach, Coach George, talked to me a little bit before he came up as a freshman, and he goes, "Man, this guy just loves to play." I think he's a gamer. He's lived up to every bit of that along the way. And I was thinking about this. It's not necessarily that when the game's on the line that Anthony wants the ball in his hands. I think it's more that he was made for that situation. And that's just who he is. He's the guy when the game's on the line, the ball's going to find a way to him, and he's going to find a way to make a play, and he's going to do it. He always plays bigger than his size as well, which is something that I think he plays pretty big. And then the nice memory on Anthony is down in Myrtle. He had some grammar lessons to help further his academic and athletic career, which we won't get into. We have everybody's grammar improved when we were there. So again, congratulations to these guys. I know that it's been a very difficult and stressful time for you guys going through this entire process, and I think it speaks a lot for your character to endure and persevere, continue to grind it out, but in a way that it's fun to be around, and that says a lot about it. Your focus is there, but it's also
Thank you, Coach Pallone. Let's hear from our baseball guys. Justin, come on up first.
All right, my name is Justin Butler. I'm playing baseball at Lehigh. My most memorable moments with my teammates and coaches will always be the bus rides down to Myrtle, especially last year. Not so much the bus ride up back to Myrtle. Every morning, wake up, pass about 5 Waffle Houses, always questioning if that's the one we stop at. Nothing like waking up and then it's 30 degrees warmer, and then full day of baseball with the team, no better than what I'm asked at. Lessons I learned from playing baseball at Quakertown is how a true coach should really be. Coach Pallone and the others, especially the other staff, do everything they can, day in and day out, for our whole team. I feel like no one really truly sees the work they put in for us. I'm truly grateful for our future kids who come up and play with us. We'll have the same pleasures I did having Coach Pallone and the other staff as their coaching staff. I feel my best accomplishment is in high school sports was 2 years ago, my sophomore year, is when we did the CAM night for CAM, just like wrestling did. I helped organize the setup for CAM night. Seeing my teammates, the other team, and the community come together as a whole truly showed me what kind of community Quakertown really was and how strong we were as a whole. First off, I'd like to thank my parents, family, all of my coaches, teammates, past alumni, and friends and community for helping me every step of the way. And I'm looking forward to studying accounting at Lehigh. I'm also excited for the next 4 years there as well. I'll be playing baseball. And for beyond that, trying to play games as far as I can and as long as I can as well.
Thank you, Justin. Trevor.
My name is Trevor Hurst. I'm going to play baseball at Chestnut College. My
most memorable moment with my teammates and coaches was probably my sophomore year when we had an extra inning game that went for like 10 innings and the final score was 1-0 and we lost. But it was a fun game to play. So it was just not a lot of offense. It was kind of weird, but it was kind of cool at the same time. But so the lesson I learned from participating in sports here in Quakertown was I learned to be hardworking and how to be a good teammate to my peers. I feel my best accomplishment during high school sports was just being a part of the winning team year after year. We always finish with a record and overcome. So I'd like to most importantly thank my family, my coaches, my teammates, and friends who encouraged me and supported me every step of the way to achieve my goals in college baseball. And I hope to win a lot of games in college. And I hope to come out successful with a good career and hopefully even continue to play baseball.
Thank you, Trevor. Jack, come on up.
My name is Jack Lazaria, and I'm going to be playing baseball at the University of Georgia. My most memorable moment with my teammates and coaches is going down to Myrtle Beach, bus rides to Waffle House, playing baseball pretty much all day, and then singing with Isaac and Stacy at the Southern Comfort restaurant. Some lessons I learned from participating in sports is how to be a leader. I learned the culture of Quakertown baseball from the older students who already graduated, and I plan on passing that down to the juniors, sophomores, and freshmen that are here now. I also learned how to work hard in the weight room and on the practice field, and it's important to work hard whether you're on the team field or the practice field. My best accomplishment in high school sports is learning how to be a good teammate. I think it's more important to be a good teammate than anything else because in 10 years, no one's going to know if you went 0 for 3 or 3 for 3. They're just going to know how you treated them and your character. I'd like to thank my parents, teammates, and coaches and family for pushing me and supporting me through all the ups and downs in life and in sports. What I'd like to achieve in college and beyond, I want to excel in the classroom and on the baseball field, and I want to end up coaching college, high school, or professional baseball.
Thank you, Jack. And Anthony, you've waited a long time. Come on up.
My name is Anthony Mastic, and I'm going to Koch University to play baseball and study accounting. You know, when I was thinking about my most memorable moment, it made me a little angry because all I was thinking of was all the memories I didn't get to make without having my junior year. However, I believe that all of us as a whole really put that back in our mind, and really put that in the back of our mind and realize that we aren't going to have a season and we still need to get our work in. And all of us here obviously did a great job of putting our work in because we're all standing up here because we're going to college to play our sport. The lesson I learned most from playing baseball was accountability and ownership. Through playing as a team, when I was very young, I've always learned through playing as a team when I was we all have responsibilities as a team throughout practices and even in games. Like when we notice someone's like slacking off, you have to keep them accountable for what they're doing, so we can continue to grow as a whole. I'd like to thank first and foremost my parents for pushing me and supplying me with everything I need to succeed, and my coaches, John Pallone and Mike Connors, for teaching me everything I know and getting me the exposure I need. Beyond college, I hope to have a successful career and a happy family. And thank you.
I'd like to conclude today's program by first thanking all the coaches. Thank you for coming. Thank you for all the stories that you told about these outstanding athletes up here. We got to learn a little bit more about them. Secondly, thank you to all 11 of you. You have endured, you have overcome as an individual and as a team. Spring sport athletes, we wish you the best and a full season. Fall and winter got to do that, and now we're hoping that we can get all of you an entire season. You have done an awesome job, and Quakertown is very proud of you. Thank you. And now we're going to get some group pictures. We'll do it by team. We'll do it with a coach and a team. We have to keep